Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. ATN Gaming here, also known as Kira in War Robots. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the drones, how I use the drones in my own hangar. This is going to be a longer video, so grab a snack, grab a drink, guys, and let's talk about the drones. This was a request from one of my subscribers, Joram Friesen. And he actually suggested that I should do a video about the drones for the free-to-win players, on how to use it. So I'm going to talk about the drones, but I'm not going to talk about how you guys should use it, because it's all different per person, depending on your own hangar, on your own playstyle, on your own taste, and that kind of stuff. But what I am going to do is I'm going to talk with you guys about the drones since it has been released on War Robots, on how I use them as a free-to-win player, and maybe you guys can get some value, get some tips out of that, and apply them to your own hangar, right? So first off, before I start into the drones, I want to say that I rarely spend money on any drone or any chips at all. I sometimes do spend like gold. I maybe bought like maybe 1 or 2 purple gold in the whole, since the drones has been released on War Robots. The rest all has been either I win it in the game, in the operations pass, or in the tasks or giveaways, that kind of stuff. Same thing for my drones. All the drones that you can see here, they're all won. I only bought like the regular drone stuff, like the defenders and the fly. When it got released, those were pretty decent drones, and then obviously because of the rework, it all changed again. I won also a few sharpshooters, but because of the rework, in my opinion, the sharpshooter does not work good for my own hangar. And that would be my first thing to give you guys as well in regards to the drone, is that the drones are very complex because there are so many possibilities. Take your time into reading the descriptions of each drone, of each chip, and also each slot. As you can see here, every drone has its own slot with its own figure, and I don't remember which one is the A or B slot, because it's just so much going on right now in War Robots. These things I don't feel it's very important to remember. What you do need to remember is I use the icons, as you can see here. This is the triangle icon, as you can see on the left side of every title of the chips. Like you see on the first chip is the on module use damage. It used to be different name, but it's called that now. And on the left side of that, you can see an icon which is like a triangle type of thing. I remember that because I know that every triangle chip has something to do either with damage. You get damaged if you use your module, you get damaged if you're locked down, or when you are immune to freeze or immune to lockdown, and that kind of stuff. So it's all connected to, it all has a theme, it all has a category, and the triangle has that category. And the round chips, for example, here, as you can see, they have all the effects: suppression, freeze, lockdown. That's how I remember my chips and my drones. And another tip that I can give you guys is that this setup that you see here is not random. Okay, so what I did is, in order to be practical and fast in the game, and especially during beacon rush, because you want to drop your robot on a beacon as fast as you can to hold that beacon, what I did is that each drone that you see here, and I'm not including the top 2, so the wasp and the fly that you see up there, I don't include that. That's actually not, I rarely use them, to be honest. I only have them there to fill up the space. But also when I play FFA, drones you can only use once. So if I need an extra drone, I'll take either the wasp or the fly. So they're more like a backup. But what I did is that in the middle one here, the eye drone, for example, is the middle one, right? This drone with its chips is specifically built for my Orochi here. And the advantage that you get for doing that is that when you are in a game and you wanna drop a bot as quick as possible, all you need to do is double tap the same place, right? The same spot on your screen. That will make sure that the Orochi gets the proper drone that I built up for. And you don't have that way. You don't have to, pick the Orochi or any other bot like a Fenrir here, right? You can pick the Fenrir on the far left, and then you have to pick a drone on the far right, right? It's like it sounds really small, but you loses a fraction of a second, and in that fraction of a second, your beacon might be taken over. You cannot drop your robot, and you cannot hold the beacon during such a game. So in my opinion, you can double click so fast at the same spot. It's much better than to choose a bot and then take time, losing time actually, to choose a drone. Okay, so that's how I play it. If you guys feel that would be valuable for your hang as well, then do it. So what else can I tell you guys? So basically all that you see here is that I've won every drone. All these gliders and the eye, I've won them either in an event or whatever. I never spend money on them. So my honest opinion is as well, use whatever drone you have. Now I got lucky. I got pretty decent drones, to be honest, and I got lucky as well with the gliders when they did a rework on them, that the gliders got this chip, the F-type. Oh, by the way, I'm just noticing it now. All the icons that you see here, they on the right side of that, you can actually read the type of slot it is in. So I didn't notice that in the beginning. So you can see here, apparently the triangle is a B slot. I never paid attention to that. The circle is an A slot. Not sure what kind of slot this one is, but it's like it has some weird icon there, like the pointy icons, whatever. It's an arms control socket. Okay, fine. And then you have the F-type slot, which is the shield, obviously. And I got lucky because my gliders all got a shield slot, so an F slot. And I also got pretty decent chips. This chip is, I think, one of the best. No, sorry, not this one. This one will give you a purple shield, an absorber shield, when my robot's durability goes to under 30%. That's not a great one. It's an okay, but the best one are this one. No, sorry, it's right here. Is the F-type slot, is on melt damage absorber. It does, if the robot receives over 70,000 damage within 5 seconds, it activates an absorber shield, okay, and has a cooldown of 5 seconds. This is really good, and the reason why it's really good, okay, is for example, I've put this on the glider all the way in the left here, and I have that. I combine that with my D-type slots chips, and this one gives me, if the robot receives more than 70,000 damage within 5 seconds, it repairs a portion of its durability. The percentage is just 5% of my durability, but I have 2 chips, right? I have 2 of those D-types, so that's 10%, but it activates whenever I get more than 70,000 damage within 5 seconds, right? So those chips will activate all at the same time, right? And what I also have is a chip that gives me suppression. Now I combined this drone with these chips on my Fenrir, so it's the far left glider with my Fenrir. And why did I do that? It's very simple, and this comes down to personal choices, guys. That's why I'm telling you how I did it. I'm not telling how to do it. You need to figure that out for yourself. But in my opinion, the Fenrir is a very tanky bot, right? I think right now, if I play this in the game, it has like 500 plus thousand HP. That means that the percentage, the 10% HP that I get back for its durability, is much more than, for example, on a Phantom or on a Riker or on a Scorpion, because my HP of the Fenrir is much higher, so the percentage will also be much. If you translate the 10 HP from my full HP, is much higher because the amount is much higher. But at the same time, the Fenrir gets a shield, right? The Fenrirs, one of the weakness of Fenrirs are, in my opinion, the beam of a hawk, right? But every damage that they do to me within 5 seconds of more than 70,000 will trigger a shield which will help me protect my Fenrir for a little moment against his beam from the hawk, which is an advantage in my opinion. Or if I'm being brawly, okay, if I'm brawling with like 5 or 3 other opponents and they all shoot at me and I get more than 70,000 damage within 5 seconds, my shield will also activate. So it just gives me a little of an extra edge as a tank brawler bot to even survive longer than it already can, right? And why did I choose suppression on this specific build for my Fenrir? That's really easy to explain. I'm using a Glacier and 2 fire weapons. The fire weapons are basically my damage dealers. My Glacier is the freeze effect that I'm using, and also pretty good damage, but also the freeze effect to slow them down and increase my damage. And because my bot is so tanky, I'm using extra suppression on the opponent so that they will do even less damage on my bot, making my bot even more tankier, right? And when that effect is gone and he does more damage to me, or he does more than 70,000 damage to me in 5 seconds, then I get the healing and I get a shield. So I'm getting like all these effects, all these benefits on my tank bot, which makes my Fenrir even harder to kill, right? So that's one of the reasons why I chose this specific build for my Fenrir. And also the drone, the glider drone that I have matched it with, right? To be honest, the effect of the drone itself, so the built-in ability of the drone itself is when I emerge from a phase shift, I get some healing. I don't use that basically because I don't have a phase shift on my Fenrir, but I don't have any other drone, right? So one of my tips for you guys, all the free-to-win players, use whatever drone that you have, guys. Don't be picky about it. Just read, take your time and read. Check out all the chips, check out all the slots. Look for which one is the most suitable, most best combination you can make with the drones and the robots that you have, and just play with it. When you get something else, if you get another drone that is better, then you just swap it for that one. But you know, I don't really focus on the drones that much, and I don't spend money, so I just use whatever I have. So in this case, for all the gliders, basically, I don't really use the built-in ability of the drones. The chips and the type slots of the drones is much more interesting, so that's my main focus. The second glider here from the far left is matched up with my Hades, right? So from the far left, and then the second glider. So you see my Hades there. There's my drone. This is just a leftover build. And what I mean by that is that I matched up all of my other bots and all of my drones, and this is the best that I have left for my Hades. Now, why is there a leftover build for my Hades? My Hades isn't that great. It's really an underdog bot. I'm actually planning to replace that for a Demeter, but my Demeter is still too weak for that, so it's not one of my staples yet. The Hades is still a very good and reliable bot, so I'm still using it. But I just picked like what is the best pick that I can do. So I didn't choose to put a absorber shield on my Hades that will activate every 5 seconds if it get more than 70 damage. Why don't I do that? Because as you can see here on my Hades, I have 2 overdrive units. So I actually want to take damage until my overdrive units are activated, then I can use my shield, right? And then stay under that threshold and keep that overdrive activated as long as possible, right? But having a absorber shield to activate every 5 seconds is very troublesome, because it will take me very long to take damage, because every 5 seconds or every 10 seconds, because you get 5 seconds the shield and then 5 seconds cooldown, so every 10 seconds I get that shield. I don't want that. I want to get damage as fast as possible. So the best next thing that I can do is the chip here. You can see that I do get an absorber shield as an extra protection, but it only activates once, or actually it activates every single time when my durability goes below 30%. That's a pretty good one, because if it goes under 30%, it will be under my overdrive unit's threshold, so my overdrive will be activated. I get an extra layer of protection, which is good for my Hades, because I get all the full damage that I need. Now, one thing that you need to watch out with that build is that sometimes you activate your Hades built-in shield while your drone shield is activated. It's a bit of a shame, right? It's a bit of a waste. So keep that in mind. If you do play with this build, so it happened to me a couple of times, you know, just keep that in mind, that I activated the Hades shield accidentally, even though I saw that my drone shield was already activated, even though it was just for a second. But you know, it's a waste to have a double shield, because there's no benefits in having double absorber shields. Okay. Now, another tip that I can give you guys is that, for example, here you can see for the Hades, I got a control resistor. This is the best thing that I have, guys, because on my Hades, I have these weapons, right? The Quirkers and the Nucleon. They do not activate chip effects that easily. I don't think they activate it at all, right? So it has no use for me to put like a freeze chip on here, or a lockdown, or a suppression, or anything else, because it has no benefit for me. The best benefit that it has is a control resistor that will minus 12% of the built-in freeze or suppression or lockdown of the enemy. That's the best thing that I can do, right? So mainly the 3 chips on the side here are the best one. I have here a chip that will give me repair when it goes down 35%, which is nice. Gives me an extra extension of my durability. But you know, that's how I built my drones and my hangar. I can go through them one by one, to be honest, because the special ability of the eye is that when you use your active modules, right here, right, if you use an active modules, it will have for 7 seconds a increased damage output. In this case, 22%. I put this chip on here as well. Another 10%, as you can see here. So in total is 32% extra damage for my Orochi. This is the eye in the middle right here. So that's for my Orochi. For my Orochi, my main focus for the Orochi is I want to give it as much damage power as I can, right? So the glaciers are pretty good. They are pretty high leveled. They have the freeze effect, so I don't need to do the freeze effect. I've put 2 max overdrive units on it, right? So I get per unit 25%. That's 50% more damage. And if I count the glaciers as well, let's see if it says a freeze effect. I don't know how much freeze increased damage it does, though. Might be 175%. I'm not entirely sure, guys, but I know that the freeze effect will give me more damage, right? So it is 50% plus right now, plus the 32% of my drones. That would be 82% more damage than I would usually do. So it's pretty close to 90 to almost to 100. And imagine that I don't have the best drone setup. I don't have everything maxed out yet. So imagine if I do, my Orochi probably going to be like around 100% extra damage. That's my main focus for my Orochi. So that's why I'm using the eye. Also, I'm using suppression. Why I'm using two suppression actually, as you can see here, and the reason for that is that the Orochi is very fragile. It's a very weak bot if you look at his durability. Okay, so what I do, because of his stealth ability, so it has two charges of stealth. Obviously, that's his ability. So what I do is that I let people shoot at me until my overdrive kicks in. Then I turn on my ability, which I will have stealth. I hope that they don't have a quantum radar, obviously. If they do, my plan B is to use my advanced repair unit to counter their quantum radar, hoping that my robot will stay alive during that time. And of course, my last my last defense is my last stand. If they do trigger all the way to my last stand, I will survive their quantum radar or their ability, and then use my second charge stealth ability to attack them and shoot at them. But I want to wait until they trigger my overdrive unit, so I have the extra damage, and then I start shooting them. And when I start shooting them and the suppression kicks in, so I suppress them for 5 seconds, their damage to me will be less, right? That will give my Orochi a bigger chance to survive, even though it's so fragile. And that also gives me time to have the cooldown of my ability, so that I have another charge and then go into stealth again and maybe run into cover or whatever, right? So but the point here, guys, is that look at your bots and look at how you want to play for each bot, and then custom them based on how you want to play. So the Fenrir with this glider, I double down on his tankiness, right? And I use suppression to do that as well, and healing and the absorber shield. The Hades is a leftover build. Like I said, I used the leftover best chips and best build the best drones that I have for the Hades. Okay, the Orochi, I double down on his damage output, but also try to help my Orochi stay alive as long as possible by using suppression. Okay, I don't need freeze, I don't need lockdown, because freeze basically already slowed them down a little bit, and the freeze already comes from my glaciers, so I don't need freeze chips. This chip, the ARMS controller socket that you see here, this is also a fill up. This is a leftover. I have nothing better, as you can see. I only have two chips, this one and this one that I put on the Scorpion. There's this one. So I don't have much of those. Again, try to build your drones the best way that you can based on what you have, based on also what kind of bots that you're playing, right? Let me give you one final example, because otherwise the video is going to be very long. But this drone, the eye, is obviously on the right side here, from the right. It's for my Scorpion. This is built for my Scorpion, and as you can see, my Scorpion is my Scorpion I use as a silent ninja killer type of bot. So any low HP bot, any bot that I think I can get a quick kill or a quick damage, I use him. As you can see here, I don't even have my modules on max, but I use a lockdown ammo because I want to lock them down, so they cannot run away from me. That gives me the best possibility to hit them properly. But also I do that, as you can see here, my damage output is pretty decent. All of my weapons are MK2. but I use lockdown because once I use the lockdown, it will trigger an extra damage of, as you can see here, the built-in drone ability is 22% with every active module for 7 seconds. So that's 22% plus this golden chip that I have. I think this is the only golden chip that I have for this type slot, is another 18%. So it's 40% extra damage. And then I have a module here that gives you another 5%. It's not much, but again, look, this is the best that I have, guys. Work with what you have, right? Don't complain with what you don't have, and just participate with giveaways, grind, play the events, play the free operations passes, and get whatever free stuff you can get, and add them all together. So if I use my lockdown, I get 45% extra damage. That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. If I want to go the extra mile, I can swap in the lockdown here for a death mark. Gives me another 20%. That would be 65% extra damage. But I use this and I prefer the lockdown, so I use the lockdown. But the same thing goes for the Orochi, guys. I can also not use advanced repair. I can also use the death mark. It will give me not 82%, then it will give me 102% extra damage. But in my own experience and my personal playstyle is that because the Orochi is so fragile and I already have 82% extra damage, which is pretty decent, I choose the advanced repair to keep my bot alive longer, right? Because just think about it. You can have like all the extra damage output that you can have, but if your robot dies too fast, it's useless to have extra damage, right? So the first step is to have a bot that can stay alive to use that extra damage. And with that being said, I decided to use the advanced repair, right? If you're more of a player that like to go in the battle real fast and brawl and fight, shoot the whole time, then I would suggest, maybe go for the death mark, because you're going into the battle fight anyway, basically suiciding your bot. Then get as much damage, get as many kills as you can want in that small amount of time that you're using Orochi, and then go on to the next bot, right? So this is all personal preferences, guys, but I'm trying to explain you guys the reasoning, the thought behind how I build my bot. Since we already talked about 4 of my 5 bots, I'll just do the last one to complete as well. The hog here, as you can see, my hog, this is a temporary build because I think this is the best that I have. The bomb effect with a snare. I would love to have another scout, but this is the best that I have, so I'm using it. The snare gives me 600 meters with some damage and also a freeze effect, which is nice. I also have an extra chip on my drone here, the glider on the far right. And I also have here a freeze effect to the drone, chip, that will also give my weapons a freeze effect of 0.2%. So that helps for the snare to freeze them down and do extra damage. But my hog is not as stable in my hangar, guys. It will be replaced by another bot, probably by a Revenant or by a Phantom or by a Demeter. So it really depends on how the development of my hangar goes. But for now, it's a good fill up. And I have here for the hog is also a very fragile bot. And I have here the 5-second absorber shield with whenever I receive more than 70,000 damage. I have here a healing, same trigger at more than 70,000 damage. I get a repair, I get a healing, I got 2 of those chips, so I get 15,000 HP healing, plus 10% of my full durability. And what I already said, I have the freeze bot here. The the built-in effect, I don't really use it because I don't use phase shift. Again, this is a type of a somewhat of a leftover build, not per se, because the chips that you see here, they are specified custom build for my hog to make sure that my hog can survive as long as possible. Also here, my modules, I have a level 5 last stand, a cloaking unit, and a nuclear amplifier. Level 1, so if this is at the max during level 1 in game, it will have 40% increase of weapons. I have a lockdown to lock my my targets down with my hawk beam. The reason why I use this is that the nuclear amplifier helps my hawk beam to do a lot of damage in a very short amount of time, which triggers my module really fast. And once it is triggered at 40% extra damage, that is quite a lot. Combined with the hawk beam is a very dangerous combination in my opinion. My weapons are not that strong, as you can see here. They're all just MK1 level 8. They should be MK1 level 9. That is the minimum that you should upgrade all of your bots and weapons without the silver discount. Once they reach MK1 level 9, wait for the silver discount and then go on. For example, I think, yeah, you can see here my Glacier is MK1 level 9. If I upgrade it now, it's going to cost me 32 million. That's half of what I have of silver in 32 million is half of my silver right now. That's way too much silver in my opinion. So I wait for the silver discount. It will be around 22 million. That is when I strike and activate the upgrade for my Glacier. So up until MK1 level 9, it's pretty cheap, and from there it's very expensive. And when it's expensive, wait for the silver discount, guys. Now I'm going to start ending this video because otherwise it's going to be a very long video. I've been talking so much already, but I do want to say that I hope this is helpful for you guys. One final tip that I want to give you guys is that the two other drones you see here, the Fly and the Wasp, these settings or these builds are done based on the following strategy. And my strategy is that I play a lot of FFA because during FFA is the best way for me to grind silver. I get the most silver and the most experience points and honor points out of the game. But you all know that if you play FFA, you can only use one drone once. But the bots, you can keep them coming, right? You can keep respawning the same bot during FFA. So my strategy is very simple. One is a tip in regards to the bot is that, for example, if you have an Orochi, make your Orochi the strongest bot in your entire hangar, right? Make it your project to max your Orochi out. Even though your other bots are all crap, all your other bots are low level or bad, is fine, because if you can respawn your strongest bot in FFA, that means that you have a big advantage of becoming in the top 3 of FFA, and the top 3 gets decent amount of silver and points and all of that. It's better to have one superstar bot in your hangar than have 5 robots that are decent and okay, you know, not too strong but also not too weak. That way, if you have 5 of those bots, you will be crushed by another enemy who has one really strong bot, because he keeps spawning his strong bot. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So, and because of that concept, right, because you're basically focusing on one bot to max it out and to play it in FFA. Once you have maxed out one bot, you go on to the next, and then you go on to the next. Keep that going, right? So make it like project 1, project 2, project 3, and go on. But because you can respawn the same bot, you can make these extra backup drones a build, right, that is also custom made for that, for example, that Orochi, right? This Wasp is made so that when my Scorpion or my Orochi is respawned, I can use these drones as a backup because their build will help specifically my Scorpion and Orochi, right? They won't help my Hawk that much. I mean, it will a little bit, but they're not built for my Hawk. They're not built for my Fenrir. So the best option that I have is when I respawn a Scorpion, when I respawn a Orochi in my case, I can use either the Flybot to get extra damage. You can see here it's 11 more damage if I use my active module, right? It's not great, guys, but it's the best that I can do drone wise. So I just use it. I just put it in there. Why not? And the other one is my Wasp, right? It's the best build that I have. So it gives me the biggest chance in FFA to get another kill with my Orochi and Scorpion, because my Orochi and Scorpion right now, in my opinion, are the best, the fastest, and the most damage dealing bots that I have. My Fenrir is obviously my tank bot, and my Hades and Hawk right now are just fillers. Fill up in my hangar. So guys, if you watch this all the way to the end, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it, and I really hope that me telling you how I'm using my drone, that it will help you as well, that you get some value out of this, that it helps your hangar to become better, or your drones to become better, that you can use your drones in a better way right now. I appreciate it. If you like this type of content, guys, or if you have any questions or any ideas, put them in the comment section below. I might make a video out of it. This is, for example, this is a video that the idea comes from a subscriber. Also, subscribe to my channel, guys. It's a small action, a small button that you guys need to press, but it would mean the world to me to grow my channel. If you like the video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Turn on the notification bell. I would really appreciate that. Now I'm going to leave you guys with one final tip. This is a really good one. Okay, now here's the thing. Every day you get a free video ad on chips to combine them, right? This one is difficult to show you guys, so let me take another one. So you go to any chip that you really need, or that you want to build up. You know, I built the amount of chips up. So I have here microchips. I try to use all of my gray chips here, my tier 1, into making as much as tier 2 tier chips as I can, right? Because eventually I want tier 3. But in order to get tier 2, a free way to do this is to add any, because these are chips I don't use, like control resistors, acid sprayer. I don't use these chips, right? It's a waste of my space. So what I'm going to do is I can just do this and add regular, make it 15. I don't have 15. That is too bad. Oh, I do have 15 right here. And you can see that left purple button, it will give you a video ad. Watch that video ad. You get one, I think 1 or 2 per day, right? Use it and you get a random tier 2 chip. And if you do this 10 days consecutively, you will have 10 random tier 2 chips. And if you have enough gold, you can use your gold, 200 gold, to combine those random tier 2 chips to make finally your tier 3. Do that the entire year, guys, and eventually this is your best way of getting tier 3 chips, or even tier 4 chips, right? Because tier 4 is gold. Yeah, tier 4 chips. This is the best way to get them for free, without money spent, without spending a lot of gold and that kind of stuff. Obviously, if you need to combine the tier 2 and the tier 3 chips, you need to use gold, which is 500 for tier 2 to go to tier 3, and from tier 3 to tier 4 is 500. But if you have the gold and you're looking for a gold chip or whatever chip, this is the best way to do it. This is the best way to get them for free. Now, to add on that, obviously this is going to be all random chips, so you need to be lucky that your tier 3 chip is a good one, right? As you can see here, I didn't get lucky because I got a control resistor as a tier 3 and a anti-acid. these are useless, guys. So what you can try to do is because you only need 5 tier 3 chips to get a tier 4, don't randomize your tier 3 into tier 4. When you have enough tier 3, make sure that you have 5 of the same to make sure that you get exactly that type of tier 4 chip that you want. Okay, so for example, if I want a frozen tier 4, I will wait for 5 frozen tier 3 chips so that I know when I combine them I will get a tier 4 frozen chip. Now it sounds really dreadful what I'm telling you guys, but this is, as a free to win player, guys, this is the best way that I know to get those chips. Okay, unless you have the goal to buy them, definitely do so, but be patient, right? We're not in a hurry, guys. There's no haste. Every day watch a video, combine those chips. If you get lucky, you'll get a pretty good chip on tier 2. That's better than nothing, guys. Okay, so that's the final thing that I'm going to give you guys in this video. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it if you watch it till the end, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.